You're listening to Living Podcariously, bringing you real men's perspectives, unfiltered, unapologetic, and uncensored. Recorded live in the Living Podcariously studio in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Welcome to Living Podcariously. This is episode number 12. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Adam. Across from me is...
I am Tach.
And back with a vengeance. No, back with popular demand. No, back because she's the best looking thing in the studio.
Indeed.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Of course, I ask you that. I live with you. Really, Tach should be probably asking you that, but...
How come you didn't ask how I was doing?
Did I not ask how you were doing?
I don't remember.
All right, on to our first topic. No, I'm just kidding. What have you been up to, Tach? What have you been doing?
Nothing.
I see you once a week coming over here, eating some pizza, drinking some beer, smoking some vape.
Just working.
Yeah?
That's it. Yeah.
Huh, well, very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's cool. Made for good content.
So you asked me to ask you what's going on,
Yeah.
and then it was nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Meh. I'm sure there's something, but I can't think of it. But
Yeah. Well, we're going to be upgrading studios here real soon, Tach.
Indeed.
We're moving on up
moving on up.
to the east side. Actually,
Moving on
to the
up.
north side of Barge, if that makes any sense to you.
It doesn't.
But yeah, we're upgrading studios. We'll have some new studio space. Hopefully, it doesn't echo as bad as it looks like it's going to because there's a bunch of tile in there. But hey, pool table,
There's
pool.
tile in here.
Yeah, I guess that's good. But I got a ton of sound dampeners in there,
Right.
so anyway. All right, let's get right into it. So there were several things that happened this week that I felt pertinent to at least categorize and talk about on the show. I think this first topic probably doesn't have anything to do with the two of you. However, it's very pertinent to the NFL community.
Can't wait.
So, Tach,
Yay.
do you know what the NFL is?
Yes, I'm not that stupid.
Are you sure?
Told you I used to follow football a
All right.
long time ago.
So was there
National Female
lesbians?
Lesbians, yes.
Liquors. Oh.
National Female Liquors. Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, let's trivialize it. Was there anything in the last year that happened that caught attention?
Oh, are you talking about the Deflate Gate?
Yes, the Deflate
scandal?
Gate.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm a Miami Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
Tach, if you had to choose, what team would you preference towards?
I used to follow, my whole family was Chicago fans.
The Bears.
So, the Bears.
All right. Andrea, if you had to choose a team, who would you choose?
Whichever one you choose, honey.
Nice.
Whichever food you like.
Nice.
That's
Look
what
at
I've
that.
always been taught.
Wow. Seriously. Sister, bring her in. Just bring her by one time.
I haven't even met her sister yet.
Just ask my camel.
You do have a camel
She's got a camel toe in studio.
I've got 4.
right between your legs, too. That is awesome.
That's a segue for the last... Was it last episode of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we talked about Andrea's camel toe. So, yeah, maybe we'll take a picture of Andrea's camel toe and stick it up on Facebook.com/.
Oh, I think everyone should see my camel toe.
Living Pod Curiously.
It's very cute. It even has a little hat.
So anyway, back to the NFL. Deflategate,
Yeah.
Tom Brady. So that's really the topic of the conversation is Tom Brady.
Okay.
So to summarize it really quickly, the Patriots got caught cheating with deflating footballs so their quarterback could get a better grip on the ball and make better throws. That's the bottom line. All right. So each team has their own number of balls. They are tested before game. Sometime between the time they were tested and the time they were used, the Patriots deflated them. Now, the scandal came down to who did it. Well, the people that were involved all got either fined or suspended certain amounts of games. That included Tom Brady. Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games in the upcoming season, in the 2016 season.
Okay.
I'm glad they
Sorry, I'm
test
watching
all of their balls.
Thoroughly. They test them for
very
pressure.
good.
When all this was going down, I saw Charles Barkley doing an interview or whatever. Charles Barkley was talking about all this. And he said back in his day, when he was playing in the NBA, that it was pretty normal because he always had like one of them little needle things, had one on him all the time. So if he ever got the ball or just before he went out, he would deflate it a little bit, whatever. It got to where his liking was. And then he put it back in like in his wristband or sock or wherever he kept it and just kept going. And then the guy was like, well, did you feel like you were doing anything wrong? He's like, no. Like, we did it all the time. Like, I wasn't the only one.
Do you know what the difference is there between the two comparisons of sports?
No.
So in basketball, the ball that is used on the court at all times is the same ball for each team. So the advantage is for both sides. So if the ball being deflated is an advantage for Charles Barkley, it would have also then been an advantage for whoever his opponent was. Or disadvantage, right. So it's equal playing ground. In this situation, each team brings their own balls to use. So it's not the same ball that goes back and forth and back and forth. So,
right.
What was that?
It's just my pussy. Serafina.
Oh, my God. But in football, each team has their own. So the Patriots would have brought their, 26 balls or however many it was. Then the other opposing team would have brought theirs. So, make a long story short, the advantage would have been to the team that deflated their balls, which they got busted, and that's the Patriots. Well, Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games, and then he appealed it through a circuit court, and it got appealed. So he was said he did no longer have to, be suspended for those 4 games. Well, that got overturned today, or yesterday, in a Supreme Court judge's hearing. He overturned the appeal, refining Tom Brady, and Ron would love this topic. He would love to call in on it, I'm sure. Refining him those 4 games and suspending him those 4 with no pay. So now Tom Brady, at this point, he has another way out if he wants to. Can
he appeal that now, too?
He can't technically appeal an appeal that has been overturned.
Right.
What he can do is ask for where you get a grant of an extension for some sort of legalese. So technically he can push it out another year if he wanted to, so he didn't have to take his penalty till next year instead of this upcoming year.
So is it by the next 4 games, or is it any 4 games that somebody chooses?
The very first 4 games of the season.
I would just do that, man. Get it over with.
Agreed.
You don't want to be the last 4 games of the season.
And the Miami Dolphins play the Patriots game number 3 or 2 or 3, one of the two. So that's going to be a W in the column for the Dolphins as long as they do well. So we will see.
Schedule's already set. Just get it over with. You can still win and go to Super Bowl by losing 4 games.
But when you're a Tom Brady caliber player in a sport like that, that is millions of dollars that you're going to be out. Granted, he did a $40 million 2-year contract, but you're going to be out that much money early.
He will be okay. He will survive.
Okay.
I think he'll find a way. I totally agree.
Perfect.
Seriously, assist her. Just bring her by.
Tach is interested in your sister, Andrea.
Maybe when we have a bigger house, she'll come in.
No, why won't she come now?
There is not enough time to answer that question.
Okay. All right. Well, then, all right. Off of football topic. Look, I know that's not exactly our forte, but that I felt that was relevant enough to bring up. I know Ron would have wanted us to bring it up, so I'm bringing it up for him. All right, Tach, can you think...
Okay, first of all, Ron has not passed away, right?
That's a good point.
Ron would have wanted it that way.
In loving memory of our prior, not prior friend, but our prior podcast host and good friend, Ron.
Right.
Ron's making some moves, man. He's hosting a couple of other sports talk podcasts as well.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing real well. So, hey, congrats out there, Ron.
Indeed.
All right.
I'm just going to play with my camel.
All right.
So has anything else happened in the last week that you guys think would be relevant to talk about on a show like ours?
Can't possibly think of anything. Except 2016 is stealing all of our singers and actors.
Yeah, exactly. I like the angle that you were going there. I only brought up in my topics here one particular, and that is the king of the man camel himself, Prince. Have you seen that picture?
The purple one? No.
He's in the yellow jumpsuit, and his camel is just strong as ever in that jumpsuit.
No, it's camel.
It's quite funny.
It's like Eddie Murphy's little jumpsuit.
His camel is bigger than mine.
Damn, I keep picking this up and wanting to vape.
Oh, Trey, by the way, just texted and said, also, hi, female voice. He didn't know who it was. Cute. All right. So yeah, Prince recently passed away. The details of his death are still kind of up in the air. They don't know how he died. Well, let's just put it this way. The reports of his autopsy haven't been publicized yet.
Right.
So they don't know exactly, the public doesn't know exactly how he died. I'm sure the family does. He's already been cremated. So that's already happened.
Right.
Allegedly through press. But yeah, they have not reported the reasons for his death, which is interesting.
Well, he did have the flu for 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah, he did.
They were saying that too, and I read that somewhere too that he's been sick, but I was like, People don't die from the flu. This isn't like 1600s anymore. Like, did he have something else? Like,
that's all that they
did
say.
he have like cancer or AIDS or something that?
They'll probably just put a symbol for the reason he died.
Oh, too soon?
And reasons are
Nothing being meant by it at all.
Yeah.
It'd be a beautiful symbol.
it'd be pretty simple.
So I wrote down some stuff here, Tach, and I wanted to see if you guys could guess. I wrote down the top 20 Prince Billboard singles.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how many you guys can guess.
Giving clues, or we're just going to start naming them?
I mean, I would hope I don't have to give clues on it. I can. Let's see how many.
I mean, do you want to just start naming songs? Hold on.
Little Red Corvette.
Hold on.
There's two of the top 20
Yes.
Tach. She's
When
winning.
Doves Cry.
Diamonds and Pearls.
Purple Rain.
Pussy Control. Or is it Pee Control?
What? Pussy Control. That's not on this list, but I want to hear that song.
Say Cream.
Wanna Be Your Lover?
Let's Go Crazy.
Let's Go Crazy, number 3.
The Most Beautiful Girl in the World.
Yes, definitely number 9.
Something with Nikki or something like that.
You Got the Look.
I don't see You Got the Look in
I
there.
think you're thinking of Roxette, maybe.
No.
Is that You Got the Look? Is that?
Oh no, I'm thinking of She's Got the Look.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Is it Nikki or something?
How about I go down the list?
Okay.
I don't remember who got what. You guys kind of rocket fired them out at me. So, all right, number 20 is 1999.
Oh, duh.
By far one of the best songs of Prince's.
Purple Rain.
He said that. Number 19 is I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man.
Hold on a second. What is this? This
Top
is
20 Billboard
this is in
hits.
order?
Yes, in order.
So the first one you mentioned is what, the most?
No, 1999. Number 1 is the most.
So
by far the most. The highest maybe on. I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't write down exactly what the list had. But yeah, these are in
that's good enough.
order.
Just top 20, like number 1 hits.
Yeah, number 1 Billboard hits from Prince's. So 20 is 1999. Number 19 is I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. Number 18 is Alphabet Street. I don't know that song.
It sounds like, is that the song you did on Sesame Street? I don't know.
Number 17 is 7. Number 16 is I Would Die for You.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Number 15 is Delirious. Number 14 is Pop Life. Number 13 is Thieves in the Temple. Number 12 is Diamonds and Pearls.
I got that one.
Number 11, you also got this one too, Little Red Corvette. Number 10 is Sign of the Times, or Sign of the Times. Sign-O.
Like Steve-O?
Yes. Number 9 is The Most Beautiful Girl in the World.
Got that one.
Number 8 is Purple Rain. Not number 1. I figured that would be up there next to number 1. Number 7 is You Got the Look.
I had that one. I said that one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Raspberry Beret.
Got that one.
Number 5 is Bat Dance.
That's from the Batman soundtrack.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, look at that. It even says from Batman. Oh.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Cream.
Yep.
Number 3 is Let's Go Crazy.
Yep.
Number 2 is Kiss.
Kiss.
And number 1,
Kiss.
top Billboard song.
When
of
Doves
Prince's.
Cry.
Yes.
Yep.
When Doves Cry. Something that's way more interesting to me than his songs is the secret behind something called Prince's Vault. Have you heard about this, Tach?
I don't think so.
Andrew, did I talk to you about this at all while show prepping?
No,
all right.
not at all.
So let's see if this actually says anything. I'm going to read you this article, or just these couple of sentences real quick from this article. The Prince Vault. There is the pop star Prince, the androgynous multi-instrumentalist who sings about sex and spirituality in the same breath. And then there is the Prince, the Enigma. In this second Prince that has created a great pop culture mystery, the story of a vault holding thousands of unreleased songs. So somewhere in his mansion or whatever he's got a studio set up in his house, rumored to be, Prince has a vault of thousands, like 7,000 different singles that he's got, that he's recorded over his lifetime. And according to his engineer, Hans Martin Buff, they are ridiculously amazing. So it's just like a lot of the songs that you would have already heard of Prince that he's released, but brand new songs. Prince has...
Right, so he's going to be like Tupac and just keep releasing albums after his death.
I mean, technically it could. Tupac's, I don't think, was nearly as vast I mean, they've
of course not.
pretty much released all of what Tupac already had, I would imagine. But yes, technically. And some Elvis had a few things, and so did Johnny Cash had a few things that they all had buffered in a recording studio somewhere. But I'm actually kind of excited about that.
That's cool.
That'd be kind of neat, because apparently he has enough recorded, rumored, of course, at this point, from this guy, from this engineer of his who's worked with him for years, to be able to release one album a year for the next millennia.
What?
Think about that. Yes.
No way.
Wait, millennia
so
is
you're
what?
Saying...
Millennia is 1,000 years? All right, for the next century, the next 100 years.
Even if it's still a century, you're talking like, so that's like what, 25,000 songs? No, not even 20.
No, it's not that many.
No, you're talking like 10,000 songs?
Yeah, correct. Upwards of 7,000 songs is what this guy says he's rumored to have in there.
I don't even think he's released that many songs yet. Obviously not, because he hasn't been around 100 years.
Yeah, no, not that much.
So
I see what you did there.
Does Prince have any kids?
I
don't know.
He actually had one, but he died.
Really?
Shortly after birth, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Pull that mic right up to you. There
Sorry.
you go. There you go. That's fine.
He was also a Jehovah's Witness.
Yes, I did hear about that. Did you see that? Was it Van Jones? Is that the guy's name?
The engineer for Prince is Hans Martin Buff.
No, it was a friend. I think his name was Van Jones. It's this black guy. He's like, he's in politics. He's in politics, and he's I guess he's a pretty important guy. But anyway, he was friends with Prince, and he did this interview the other day, and he was like, "Look, I want everybody to know who the real Prince was, that he wasn't allowed or didn't want anybody to know about." Because he was talking about how he was a Jehovah's Witness, which they're not allowed to, like, brag, I guess, if you will. So Prince apparently used his celebrity and his money to start all these organizations and stuff, and just did so much for, like, communities and charity work and all kinds of crap. And he not once, like, ever bragged about it or even talked about it. And so this guy was like, I don't know if he would be mad at me for talking about this, but I think that people need to know that what the real Prince was doing and what he was doing his whole life. He was so involved in so many organizations and charities.
Yeah, he's rumored to not be one of those guys that have, like pop star attitude or whatever.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a pretty cool guy to work with and work for.
Yeah, and I also didn't realize, saw some video the other day about all the songs, all the hit songs that he wrote that weren't even his. Like, say that he didn't sing, other people sang. There was just like so many, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know Prince wrote that one, or this one, or that person sang, or this band performed, or, it just was surprising.
This guy's article goes on to say that during the years that he worked as the engineer for Prince, he would have a beeper on him. This was 96 when the article was written. He would get a beep in the middle of the night. He would show up at Prince's house to set up studio and start recording for him. He said Prince was so talented that he could go through the drums, bass, guitar, vocals, everything in one session and finish that particular recording. So he could knock it all out in one session. Said it was completely normal to work through the night. The same way that most people have a conversation about their day, Prince creates music. It's effortless for him. He was also quoted in a couple of other articles saying that Prince's obsession and outlet for his creativity was writing and was creating all of these pieces of music. And you go to work every day, Prince has to record something every day. That's how he gets through his day.
Well, if you're going to write 7,000 to 10,000 songs,
yeah, no kidding.
He must have, yeah.
But, all right. Well, we're going to take a little break in studio. We're going to feature a new break music DJ this week. This is a DJ Gil Lugo. He's an old friend of mine, and he is, so yes, my son is the DJ constant that you always hear taking us into our breaks and coming back from breaks and some of our rejoin music. This is DJ Gil Lugo. He's actually a DJ that's world renowned. Goes to the Middle East, goes to Italy, and all these places around the world because these people hire him to come out and entertain the crowd. Really good. So check out his information. We're going to put some show notes to some of the stuff that he does, his press release and his kit release and stuff like that. So check out DJ Gil Lugo. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Chicago's very own DJ Gil Lugo.
On behalf of Tach, Adam, and myself, the cast here at Living Podcariously is proud to announce we are partnering with Smoke Rings out of Merritt Square Mall in sunny Merritt Island, Florida.
That's right, Andrea. If you're looking for one of Central Florida's largest selection of oil, cigars, pipes, tobacco, and accessories for smoking and vaping, then Smoke Rings is the place to go.
Smoke Rings offers the latest products from oils to rigs. I bought my Kinger Subox from them, and it rocks.
By mentioning this ad, Smoke Rings is giving Living Podcariously listeners 10% off anything you purchase.
Also, check out smokeringsonline.com and click the e-cig link to learn some great facts about vaping.
At facebook.com/Smoke Rings Merritt Square, or give them a call at 321-453-1422.
Welcome back to Living Podcariously. Tach, what'd you think of that DJ Gil Lugo? I know I played some of it before you came in or as you were coming into the studio tonight. What'd you think?
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, a little different, little different beats. He likes to mix a lot of stuff together, and he's really skilled. I've seen some of his videos on YouTube that he puts together too, and they're pretty sweet.
It's cool.
What about you, Andrew? Do you like his music?
Me and my camel were dancing away over here.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Well, it's getting to be that time of year again, Tach. It is coming up on June 1st. Do you know what happens June 1st?
Well, I live in Florida, so are you referring to hurricane season?
Yes, I am. And I'm not talking about the college football team out of Miami. I am talking about the real deal hurricanes that come up out of the Gulf.
Yeah, I didn't go there at all. Andrea, did you?
Time to prepare for your hurricane parties.
Hurricane parties, yes, that's a good point.
It's true.
Time to stock up on beer and wine and snack foods for all your friends.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Of course, 2004 was a different year for us around here, though. 2004 was the year the hurricanes had actually hit here. You want to know an interesting statistical fact?
Okay.
Do you know why Kennedy Space Center is exactly where it is?
Actually, I've heard this in theory a long time ago, but I didn't know it to be fact. But it's because, well, hurricanes usually tend to go north or south of here.
Mm-hmm.
So
in the launch window for where they want to launch to get into good orbit, the Kennedy Space Center is the least likely statistical spot on the entire eastern seaboard for an east launch that will get a direct hit from a hurricane. The least likely spot.
Right.
So the Carolinas are the most likely spot. And then obviously out in Bermuda, out in the middle of the ocean a little bit further is even higher than that. But yeah, on the eastern seaboard, that's the least likely chance to get hit a direct hit.
It's pretty true too. If you look at like a lot of when the hurricanes go north and the path that they go, there's a reason why the Carolinas and Florida kind of swoop around like that, because those hurricanes are constantly going right along that edge.
Yep.
And it does some damage on the.
Have you ever?
On the
I
beach.
always get a little nervous because hurricanes bring babies. Because 2004.
They fall out of the sky from hurricanes. They pick them up from like Cuba.
I've never heard that.
And drop
That's
them off
weird.
in Florida.
Well, it must be true because I got pregnant in 2004. We haven't had a hurricane since, and I haven't been pregnant since.
I do remember 2004. I lived in Jacksonville at the time. Not a good time.
So, Tach, what she's saying is if we have a hurricane this year, come on over because there's a good chance she's getting laid. That's,
But
has
I don't
nothing to
want
do
any
with
more
that.
babies, though.
I do. I want another kid.
You can just have it.
I can have the baby, you can have the sex.
Perfect.
It's going to be a very busy hurricane season, let me tell you.
What are the odds of two redheads getting together and having a redhead baby?
See, that's the beauty of it. If it comes out redhead, that's her.
Gotta be
That's
from both
not me.
sides.
That's a good point. There'll be
If it comes
no
out
proof.
with tattoos, though, then I don't know what's up with that.
Both of you guys can sing, though, so that baby comes out, we'll have some pretty good vocal build. You may reincarnate Prince. Just saying.
A redheaded
Just saying.
prince.
A
as
redheaded
white
prince.
as we are, maybe.
But no, have you guys ever evacuated for hurricanes before? Have you ever taken off?
I did once when I was a teenager.
No, we just got a lot of alcohol and stuff with
Rode it out?
Yep.
I lived in Merritt Island at the time when I evacuated, and it's a good damn thing, too. When I came home, we were patching up our roof with that tarp that you're supposed to put on it so shit didn't get in. There was a news helicopter over our house because we were one of the worst damaged houses in all of that area. So they were actually filming us hammering down tarp on our roof to prevent more rains from coming in the house. We evacuated to Savannah, Georgia. You know why we went that far north? Every hotel north of Jacksonville was taken. Everything.
Yes.
It was.
I've tried to evacuate before too.
Jeez,
Just keep going north and
Poor St.
north.
John, you're good.
I didn't know anybody. The only other people I knew were in Tampa, and they weren't there, so I couldn't go stay with them. So so me and my girlfriend at the time, my roommate, his name was Johnny, my buddy Scott and his wife, we all headed up north, and my folks all headed up north, and we kind of did our own hurricane party up there. There was an Applebee's attached to the hotel, and we all just kind of got shitty drunk and had a big vacation at hotels and just kind of partied it up there.
We did the same thing. It was just a baby making party.
Yeah, well, that seems like a better party.
He didn't do that with his mom, that party.
My mom and dad party out. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, I lived in Jacksonville at the time, in 2004, and it was awful for us. Like, I was out of power for like 5 days. And it sucked, and like the storms were just hanging around there and spewing off tornadoes like every couple of hours. Yep. We were under tornado warnings. Oh my God, it was so stressful. And it just sucked. Where we lived was like right on up in Jacksonville, you have FPL and you also have JEA for power.
You have competitors up there?
Yeah.
Really?
But, it's not really competitors that you can't pick. It's like this.
Oh,
and we
zoned.
lived we lived right on the line of FPL and JEA. So, like, I was under FPL, and then right down the street was JEA. Okay. So, FPL people, us, yay, we're out of power for 5 days. But you go down the street, and we were, like, stayed in the house for 5 days, Come, like, the 4.5 days, finally, we're like, we need to go to the store again. So, I went out, and it was still not as stormy, it was just every once in a while, shitty weather would come through, but it was still kind of sunny, but we still had no power. So I would venture out into the town, because I'm assuming like post-apocalyptic kind of life as I was living or we were living at the time.
Yeah.
And I would venture into the town. I'm thinking I need to bring like guns, whatever. No, the rest of the world is going on as if...
Yeah, like Subway's open and...
Every place is open. People are going to the mall, to the movies, it's like any other day. I was like, oh, because everybody has power except us.
Yeah. In 2004, that kind of happened here, too. It is a weird feeling when you're driving through an area that has been devastated. And I'm not talking like every house is leveled, but I'm talking power lines are down all over the city. Nobody has power. Nobody has good, clean water. It does feel kind of post-apocalyptic because... Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how we're all living in Florida until I drive down the street. And it's a normal day.
Okay, that was way better
else.
than ours. We were out of power for 2.5 weeks.
Oh
shit. You guys were way out in...
No, it's just in Port St. John.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't too bad, but we were out it's Hurricane Francis. And we had 2 of my friends, 4 dogs, 2 cats. So there were 4
and a
people.
Partridge in a pear tree. And a baby
we brought
making
all
factory.
our food together. And, the first night we're all having fun. We still had power. We ended up eating like all the food the first night.
And then, that's why you don't bring
2 days later when you could walk outside, like we walked around over to Fay. It was probably about a mile walk. And there was a gas station open and they had the restaurant Scoops open that had hot dogs. Well, they were all out of buns for the hot dogs, but there was a line out the door for the wieners. People were lined up for these hot wieners.
There's a joke in there. I'm looking for it.
So we went and got us some wieners and went to the gas station.
Did you enjoy your wieners?
It was the best beanie weenies I ever had.
I can't make a joke on beanie weenies. I can make a joke on wieners, but beanie weenies is stretching
she had to ruin it right there.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, we ended up getting a hotel after a week without hot showers and stuff. And my ex-husband at the time, his job paid for it. So first night, hot shower, air conditioning. You get pregnant. It's just how it happens.
Woo! This is so nice. We're gonna fuck. That's what's gonna happen right here.
And that's my hurricane story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's we came home from that hurricane because it was 3 hurricanes back to back, and the third one is what really fucked up my house. We came home and one of the light fixtures in the kitchen, so a little dome light, little globe-like looking thing attached to the ceiling. The light was on. We actually had power when we first got back. It cut off a couple days later from repairs, but the light was on, but it was full of water. Not quite up to where the receptacle was, but the bulb itself was underwater. There was a cascade of water coming over our kitchen countertop because the roof had collapsed in. So water was pouring in over that. It was bad. It was ridiculous. That's that house right down here, by the way.
Wow. Well, any advice I have, if the power goes out, clean the refrigerator right away. You do not want to wait 2 weeks. You especially don't want to wait 2 weeks and then you're pregnant and then try to clean it out.
She ain't lying.
She ain't lying.
Lovely Florida.
Speaking of the Space Coast, Tach, and hurricanes least likely chance to hit there, do you know who John Thomas, a.k.a. Mad Hedge Fund Trader, that's his handle, Mad Hedge Fund Trader, do you know who that guy is?
No.
So he's a guy that can pick the hedge funds or the stock, not hedge funds. Okay, he's the guy that can pick the stocks that are called the 10 baggers. Do you know what a 10 bagger is?
That was my nickname in high school.
I was a 2 bagger. You got 8 up on me, buddy. No, 10 baggers are stocks that have the potential to rise tenfold over the long term. Like, for example, if you invested in McDonnell Douglas so many years ago, or if you invested in
Apple.
Apple is a great example. If you invested in Apple in its infancy, you would have made more than tenfold the money that you invested in Apple at the time. Well, this guy's picked another stock recently, like in the last week, that he is predicting to be, when it becomes public, because it's private right now, when it goes public, to be a 10 bagger. Do you know? Think Space Coast. Do you know what this stock is? You know what the stock is?
And I picked this a few months ago.
Did you?
Oh yeah, that was like, if you own any stock in this company, it just doubled today. You know.
What stock? Well, let's see if Andrea has a guess. Think Space Coast. Think private companies that are going to release IPOs and become public.
Think hats that I have sitting right here.
No? Nothing?
No.
No guess? All right, Tach,
No,
what is
like
it?
SpaceX or something?
Oh, ding, 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 ding. She got it.
SpaceX. And when I wear this hat, I'm space sexy.
Ooh, let me try that on.
Or kind of
On
looks
my
like,
camel.
You don't want to try this on.
No, the
I
camel
sweat in this all day.
wants to.
or what Ron pointed out is that it looks kind of like the Reebok logo.
Well, I have another hat too that just had the X on it, and that's what he was like.
Gotcha. So John Thomas, aka Mad Hedge Fund Trader, says Elon Musk's SpaceX is so forcefully pushing forward rocket technology that he is setting up one of those great investment opportunities of the century. I am constantly on the lookout for 10 baggers. That's the name, the term that he, set up himself.
Yeah.
Stocks that have the potential to rise tenfold over the long term. SpaceX is not yet public company, being owned by a handful of fortunate insiders and venture capital firms, but you should get a shot at the brass ring someday. So what he's hoping for is when they go public, that they become the tenfold kind of stock and just absolutely rise. There's a few more things in here. Only 2 major companies are public, Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and their rocket business are overwhelmed by the aerospace lines. By other aerospace lines. SpaceX, by the way, currently accounting for $200 billion a year in sales globally. Think about that number, $200 billion a year. If that goes public, I don't care what I've got, I'm investing in it. That is an amazing investment.
Indeed. And some people may not know, there's even people around here that shocks me. They don't know anything about SpaceX or really anything that goes on. All they know is every once in a while they see something that shoots up in the sky, and that's about it. And because, for the people who don't know who SpaceX is and all that, well, basically, like he was saying, it's a privately owned company that basically the shuttle program got shut down, which at the time I was really mad about, but now it makes sense. I'm not as mad. Yeah, it put a lot of people out of business, but you know what? There's 2 or 3, soon to be another aerospace company coming to
Blue Origins, right?
Blue Origins coming soon. Anyway, so all these people still have their jobs. Anyway.
Well, hold on now.
Not all of them.
Now, listen, I won't debate this because me and Ron have been
don't debate it.
No, me and Ron have been in these debates before. The move to go commercial launch systems was no question. That should always have happened. Those 7,500 engineers that lost their jobs would disagree with you because most of them had to move away. Now, now that we're starting to build back up in the area, how long has it taken since Commercial Crew to now? Well, by the way, Commercial Crew hasn't even launched. Yeah, it's been, it's been 7 years.
You're right. Yeah,
since that
because that's
program-
the first thing. One of the first things Obama did.
That's
when
right.
He came in.
That's one of the very first things. And I hated that decision. I don't disagree with it in the long
hated it
term.
at the time too. I was pissed.
I don't disagree with it in the long term. It just happened too fast. You pulled the rug out from underneath that too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there should have been a better staging period for that. The funding should have stayed there. You want to know I might have said this one show before, but you want to know a really interesting statistic about the space program? I sounded drunk when I said that statistic.
What?
Take every budget for NASA since the inception of NASA in 1958, I believe. Every annual budget, the government issues budgets to
Right.
add them all up.
Okay.
That number doesn't even come close, not even close to the bank bailout that just happened under Bush, I believe, is who did that. I understand people have their own opinions of priorities, but let's really consider those two things. And I'm not an Obama fan for the most part, but he just recently did in his last budget something that was pretty astounding. He gave NASA, and I don't know how much of this we really want to get into, but he gave NASA one of the largest budgets NASA has ever received, ever. So I was pretty happy to see that come down. So that was pretty cool.
Well, the one thing is too, like the shuttle program was so expensive, and that's the reason why they shut it down.
Sure.
With every shuttle launch, you're talking like $125 million per launch.
Yeah.
And that's government money.
Is it more than that?
I think it's a rough number, but it's
Okay.
roughly around there. And SpaceX can do each launch around $25 million.
And if they're able to reuse those rockets,
And that's what we're talking
Yep.
about. That's the reason why Elon Musk is brilliant and why the stocks are going up. Because SpaceX just finally figured out a way to land the first stage after launch instead of it falling and crashing in the ocean and basically being disposable. He's found a way for it to come down and land safely again on a landing pad or a barge.
Yep.
And now it can
a drone
be
barge,
reused.
a remote control ship in the ocean. How fucking cool is that?
And it's right out there in the port.
And
You
it's
can
go-
go to Fish Lips, and Brenda said you
Oh,
can
no, we
actually
have
throw a rock and hit it. It's
We don't
so
recommend that,
close.
but
Yeah, definitely not. But I mean, it's so close.
Well, no, I
you can
got
see
you.
it right there.
Yeah. I mean, well, I can touch it. I mean, we have a post that's right there. Oh, How I Love You, I think is the name of the ship. So,
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so now we have a reusable first stage of the rockets, which is going to save even more money, and it's just amazing. Plus, if you haven't gone online and looked up SpaceX rocket landings, oh my god, it's so amazing just to watch, even on video. It looks like it's out of a sci-fi movie. It's so awesome.
And for those of you who don't necessarily know who Elon Musk or SpaceX is, Elon Musk is also the CEO of Tesla.
And also get out of the rock you've been living under. This is the real no shit deal.
Well,
Tony
we
Stark.
do have some downloads. By the way, before we jump to the next break, we have downloads TAC right now in 38 countries, and almost every state in the U.S. There's a couple that we don't. We just recently got. If you're an Ohioan or an Ohioan or whatever, we recently had a giant boost in downloads from Ohio. Please email us at show@livingpodcariously. I want to know how you heard about us, because I mean, we've got a few friends up there, but nothing to account for the numbers of sheer downloads that we've suddenly got in the last 2 weeks out of Ohio.
Oh, we love you, Ohio.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We still got to get ourselves into South Dakota.
Ohio.
We got to get into
Ohio.
what were some of the other states? North and South Carolina. No, South Carolina. Whatever. We've got a few states that we have yet to get into, so we got to figure out a way to get ourselves in there. So maybe you need to work our Twitter and come up with some good hashtags. South Carolina, we love you, or some shit like that. Or to the 6 residents that are in South Dakota.
Yeah.
All right.
We
well,
love them too.
we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to be getting into the Living Podcariously's diary.
I have some interesting questions for you guys tonight.
Oh,
Right.
boy. Peering into the inner thoughts and expressions of men. Women submit questions for Adam and Tach to get brutal, honest admissions. We call this the Guyry. Guyry? Really? Is that the best we could come up with?
All All right, we have some interesting questions for you guys tonight. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
All right, well, let's see. We'll go right to the first one. This one is from Alexis from Ohio.
Ohio.
Not my daughter, is it?
We love Ohio.
Uh-oh.
She live in Ohio, though. But Ohio, there we go.
Ohio representing?
I know. We're
right.
getting some Ohio love.
Yeah, we are.
Well, this one is kind of a love kind of question. It's
Okay.
why the mindset that being in a long-term relationship is the end of fun?
Because it is. No. Why do people think that?
Mm-hmm.
That the being in a long-term relationship means the end of fun.
Yeah, why do guys think that?
What
Have
do
the
ga-
mindset
yeah,
of
guys
that?
do. It's a guyery.
Yeah.
Hello.
I don't necessarily think all guys think that.
No, I don't think so.
The ability to go out and get some strange whenever you want obviously goes away when you're in a dedicated long-term relationship. And for some guys, they like that.
guys don't have interest in that. I know two guys, Ron and Jimmy, both have zero interest in going out there and getting in the dating pool again.
Yeah.
And they've said to me several times, like, I feel sorry for you. Like, I don't envy you at all having to do that. Like, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
See, I see the stress in that whole situation, and I see the benefits to being in a long-term relationship, especially with someone that you love. However, I gotta be honest, that wasn't all stressful. There were some stressful times in dating and playing this scene and the game and all that jazz, but it's not that bad. It's kind of, I mean, it really is kind of fun.
I used to have fun. Not recently because I haven't been playing at all.
Right.
I've
But the
been
question is,
participating.
why is
Yeah,
the
we're getting off
long-term
topic.
relationship the end of the fun? So now that you're in a long-term relationship, is that the end of all
I
your
guess
fun?
that depends on what that person classifies as fun.
I think so, too.
Fun is different. So if you classify fun as going out and getting sex or getting laid or having relationships with lots of other girls and not being tied down just to one person, then yes, that would be the end of fun. But that doesn't classify fun for me. Fun for me in a relationship, that I happen to be in right now is the devotion and love that I feel for the person that I'm with. So that's more satisfying to me than chasing, or dating around or whatever. So it depends on how you classify fun.
It's a different level of fun.
Not a bad question, but that's a very stereotypical question to ask to a guy because we're different. I mean, we really are.
Yeah, the guys that would actually say that is a really small amount.
Well, we've had a guest on that probably fits into this question who would answer it as it would be the end of fun.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's our boy Connor. We can call him out on that. Connor is your stereotypical player. He's a good-looking guy. He does really fun and entertaining things that gets him exposure in a lot of areas. He's got better game than most people I've ever met in my life. Mm-hmm. So to him, maybe the fun of the dating or of being with women is being with multiple women, and being tied down to one would not be fun for him. Maybe that's
he may be like one of the very few only guys that would answer like that. Yeah. Most of the guys I know would say, I don't agree with that at all. So,
well, being a girl, I would just want to say that I always make sure and the fun doesn't end. I always like to spice things up and make sure there's always something new.
I actually believe you.
She stuck something in my ass the other night, Tach. It was really weird. No, I'm just kidding.
And once again, I will
believe the things I still haven't planned for you.
What?
And once again, I will say again, just bring your sister by. Maybe put her on the phone. I don't even care.
Runs in the family.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Number 2. This is an anonymous question. It's actually kind of 2 questions in one, I guess. Do you ever fake orgasms? And do you notice if a girl fakes them?
No, and yes, after experience. I've never faked an orgasm. I mean, at least I don't think I have. If I had, it was because I was drunk, and I don't even think I would have faked it if I was drunk, but no. Intentionally, I don't think I would ever fake an orgasm. I would just say it's just not going to happen. It's not going to perform tonight for whatever reason. I'm not going to get to that point. With some women, I have been able to figure out after time, just knowing their body language, that they have faked it. And after I've asked, why did you do that? The answer is always the same. The answer is always that they didn't want me to feel like I was less performing. that they were doing it just to make me feel better. Because a girl doesn't have a fake orgasm to make herself feel good. They do it to make the guy feel like he's accomplishing something.
Well, a girl doesn't always have to have an orgasm. It still feels good if they don't or if they do.
Well, that's good. It's good to know.
I mean, it still feels good when you are having sex. You don't always have to have the orgasm.
It's good to
What
know.
about you, Tach? You ever faked with me?
No, I've never faked, but I've wanted to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I've had plenty of times, like I said, I've had problems in the past where, well, maybe I've never said this on our reboot, but I've had problems in the past where I tend to go too long, and it can get very frustrating for her and for me. More so for me, but I've seen them get a little frustrated too. You're talking like going over an hour, and I'm getting overheated, and what's frustrating is that, like, try not to get too much into detail here, but when it has to be just right, and any small movement done on her part, you start back at zero, and it's frustrating. It's not her fault. She could just be adjusting to whatever, but any little minute movement, and it's like, it's to the point where chicks like this, like, where you're kind of like wrestling around, like, stay, it's like, don't move, And then, but I've given to the point where I've just given up, and I wanted to fake it because, once again, I don't want her to feel like it's her. It's not her, and I have to tell them, like, it's not you. Trust me, it's me. I've had this problem before.
I've absolutely noticed when a guy faked it. Like,
that's
I
what I've
can
always
just tell
told.
they're just like made all these noises and grunts.
Well, you're
I'm
gonna
like,
know.
What are you doing?
Well, it depends on, like, how...
I always make noises and grunts, but I've never faked it with you. I don't think I've ever really faked it at all, but I've never faked it.
No, I wouldn't say you did.
Okay.
But it's harder for a guy to fake it, though. Because
considerably.
there's a visual,
Yes, that's very true.
It's like,
You can
like,
feel that.
well, nothing came out. Like, that's weird. Well, that's another thing that happens to me. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, just to support that, sometimes men are able to have a climax or orgasm and nothing comes out. No, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Good one.
Well,
Good idea. Yeah, totally. Every once in a while.
right.
No, I don't know. Is that true?
yes, that is very true.
Really?
I'm a doctor, just believe me.
Thank you, Dr. Adam, for your input on that question.
You want to see my stethoscope?
I see it all the time.
Giggity.
All right.
Tach's going to start going, or I don't believe you, one of the two.
This
Why?
question is from Cindy from UCF. She wants
Sweet.
to
Local.
know-
It's
Yes.
UCF in the
She
house.
was born at college. That's awesome. She's from
Isn't
there.
it? A lot of people might be.
They're just conceived there. I don't think they're born there.
Oh, it could be both. You don't know what happens. What is one thing you wish girls did in bed that they never do?
Ooh, wow.
What is one thing that I wish girls did in bed that they never do?
That's the question.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be sexual.
I'm thinking she wants to know sexual, but I mean, we
Juggle?
can go with that.
I'm a juggler, so it'd be pretty cool if she could juggle too.
Now, let's get some qualifications here. Does this mean the girl that you're with currently or the girls that you've been with throughout your adult life?
It's not my question. I'm just guessing she wants to know what is it that you want girls to do in bed that they don't do, giving a little advice to spice things up with her man.
Historically with me, I would prefer a girl that takes more initiative sexually.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Really? He found the only thing that made noise in the studio. Everything else is up. Hang on.
This is what Oliver wishes.
Come here, Oliver.
What?
Oliver's wishing, giving his input there.
Come here,
Squeak,
motherfucker.
squeak.
Squeakity squeak squeaker.
He wishes all of
squeakums.
his women would squeak. Oh, did he take away your little humping toy?
I really like what you said about just being more aggressive or more like what's the word when you
Initiative?
start? Yeah, initiative. I like that. The last girlfriend I had, she did not initiate at all, and she admitted it. I will not initiate, just so you know. And she won't. I've tested her. I've sat there and like nothing. She won't do anything. I can sit there completely, whatever with it, and she'll just go.
What, naked and saluting?
Yeah, I can have it like right in her face or whatever, and she'll just sit there like as if
Wouldn't that be initiating though?
you'd think, but
Like, hey, look at this.
slap her in the cheek with it. I'm trying to watch TV. Excuse me. You know.
Oh,
Well,
it's like when Adam walked off pouting. I was like, "Oh, come on over.
Come on back here,
I'll
Snookums.
fix it."
Yeah, and it's frustrating.
Also, adventurousness in the bed. So, and proverbially in the bed, meaning with regards to sex. Throw in something new, something that's unusual. Look, I know
Well,
it's
don't put too much pressure.
What?
Something new, like every time.
well, no, not necessarily. So just traditional, the same old sex all the time. And I know this is on the guy's part too, but the question was driven towards what would make you happy with a girl. And I've said this before. I'm a huge fan of outfits, especially themed outfits of any kind. I'm a huge fan of. So throw that in there once in a while, or get maybe a pair of handcuffs or something kinky, or who the hell knows, just something that's you would not normally have in a routine based sex.
Well, maybe if you want these things from a girl, you should kind of provide the props for them to see and pick up and use.
Hey, is this personal? Is that where we're going here?
I feel like I'm in a personal conversation here.
Yeah, me too.
Well, maybe.
Moving on.
Nice.
This one is from Whitney from Tampa, Florida.
Whitney. I have a friend named Whitney.
Well, maybe this one is from your friend Whitney. What do you think about when you're going down on a girl?
Tach, you take
think
this one.
about?
Yeah.
What do you think about when you're going down?
I don't know. I never really.
What's going through your head?
Okay, well, could be anything, to be honest with you.
I'm going through what head? A lot of blood is flowing through that head.
But it could be anything. I have a bit of ADD, so it could be anything from like sexual thoughts about her to sexual thoughts about maybe somebody else.
Taxes.
To taxes, to be Scooby-Doo episode, to could be anything. It could be I could be playing the movie Goonies in my head during it.
So
Not
it's
that it has
that
any-
boring.
Did you see the
No.
booby traps?
It's that horrible
No, it has
that your
nothing
mind
to-
has to erase itself.
No, it has nothing to do with like I like or dislike the experience. That's just where my mind goes. You asked me where my mind goes. Well, I'm sorry. Whitney asked where our minds go. And that's just for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm still
All right.
in the moment and I'm still turned on. What?
So I'm an advocate of giving the honest answers always on this. So you're going to get
That's what
honesty
we
out
have
of me first.
to.
The honest answer first. Very first thing when I go down there,
Yeah.
no matter when in my entire life this has happened, is everything on the up and up as far as smell, taste, the whole nine yards.
Well, yeah, you're gonna
so
do
it's an odor check. It's a sanity check down there first, always. Unfortunately, I know that sounds really bad, but that's always the first thing.
Yeah, I'm always scared because I'm usually generally not breathing through my nose when I'm down there because I'm scared to.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you do want to do that check.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm always so scared too, like, because I don't want to smell anything, like nothing. And usually 99% of the time, I've never smelled anything. So
Well, certain odors from there are good. They're not bad odors. It's just
I hate the word odor,
Odor.
when it's
Odor's a
referring
bad
when it's
word.
referring to like a pussy.
certain
or something.
aromas
Scent.
are good. Aroma.
Aroma is not
So-
good either.
So let me
I
put
think
it
that's
this way.
why I think it falls in line with why girls don't like the word moist.
That's a good
like-
point.
It's better than dry.
The other thing that happens to me after that sanity check is done is I run through my routine of advice that I have been given in the past by other women that I've gone down on in the past and I've received criticism, like constructive criticism from. I've received technique updates and criticisms and things that I've read in books like this Maxim Sex Magazine, things like that, on how to do it properly. Every girl's different, got it. But some of those techniques are very straightforward. You don't want to act like a woodpecker down there with your tongue. So you definitely don't want to just, knock away at it. You also don't want to pay attention to one particular area too much.
Right. I'm familiar. I don't need training.
So techniques
my game's strong.
techniques run through my head, and
I'll
there's
show you later.
there's also a sine curve that you have to follow when it comes to what's the clinical term for going down on a girl?
I was like chlamydia.
Chlamydia. No,
No, that would not be.
Cunnilingus.
Yes. There's a sine wave for it. So you start off low, slow, passionate, build up to, very excited, intense, and then slow it back down, and then build it back up,
Right.
and then slow it back. And then when you feel that she is getting ready to potentially have an orgasm, you keep that sign at the top of the curve until it happens. And then you don't just stop. You slow it down, don't hit the sensitive areas, and then come back down. as long as you're doing it right, and this is just my experience, this is what works for me. As long as you're doing that right, she won't get tickled. She won't get uncomfortable. She'll enjoy it. I mean, there's certain techniques to use, like the lapping of the dog, how a dog drinks water. Let me rephrase that altogether. Imagine licking an ice cream cone. You don't lick with the tip of your tongue. You lick with the flattest part of your tongue. That is a technique that really, really seems to work well.
How do you
Is
eat
that
ice
wrong
cream
that I'm
cone?
getting turned on right now?
No, it's not. Tach, would you like me to give you some visual
Yeah,
examples?
just show me.
All right.
Oh.
I know how to do this, but maybe it'd be
Andrea,
easier
take your
if you
pants
just-
off. Let's just get this over with.
Well, if you keep talking the way you're talking.
Are we gonna Howard Sterner? Go hover over the subwoofer for me. I'm gonna get real close. Yes.
Ooh, it's so hot in here. Let's move on to the next question, guys.
All right.
This one is from Tammy in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Do you hate it when we ask you to kill the bugs, or does it secretly make you feel kind of macho?
Oh God. Depends on the bug, right, Tach?
Exactly.
Oh, so there's
were
certain bugs that.
absolutely
Let me see
right.
if I remember this right. You do not go near a palmetto bug or a cockroach.
Palmetto bug. Oh my God!
palmetto
I will
bugs.
scream and run like a girl.
Cockroach's cousin.
I cannot. I can take a palmetto bug or a cockroach all day long. I cannot refuse to, unless it's dire emergency, go after a spider. They freak
No, I
me
got you.
the fuck
Well, okay.
out.
I have a buddy that's horrified of spiders too, but
His name's
for me-
Adam. That's me.
No, there's another one too. His name is not Adam, but like it depends on the size. If it's like a big, because we got some big spiders here in Florida, then yeah, I got you. I'm with you. But if they're like anything smaller than like a quarter, I don't care.
Screw that. A brown recluse is one of the smaller spiders in Florida, and it'll kill you in like 2 hours.
Kill you. Come
Not
on.
a
now.
grown adult.
No.
What about a grown adult that's a real pussy when it comes to spiders? That's me.
So we're going to be in a house. There's going to be some tiny spider on the bug, and we're going to be standing on the chair screaming like girls for hours till someone saves us.
Pretty
Till
much.
I come over.
Burn the fucking house down.
No, like I have a buddy. And
If you come over to kill a spider for us, she'll blow you. I'll cuddle your balls. Just saying.
sounds
Good
good.
thing we have kids. Alyssa will get them.
My friend of mine one time we were somewhere hanging out, and he looks above my head behind me and freaks out. Oh my God! And I'm like, what? Like I'm scared to look. I'm like, whoa. So I immediately walk towards him and I turn around and I'm like, what? He's like, there's a spider. So I look up and it's the tiniest little fucking spider I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? The thing is tiny. It's like the size of my thumbnail, maybe even a little smaller. And I was like, he's like, dude, I'm horrified of spiders. I'm like, but it's so small.
What does he think of the wolf spiders in Florida?
Oh,
Those big,
You're creeping me out.
huge
Yeah,
wolf
no,
spiders.
I'm not dealing with that shit.
the worst spider in Florida to me isn't even a poisonous or isn't harmful to humans. It's the banana spider, and for a very important reason. Banana spiders get big, like with legs extended, like the size of a softball. All right, they're big motherfuckers. The body of it's probably,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, I'm like itching everywhere now.
whatever. Well, what happens is they build their nests suspended with a long web as opposed to short web. So they've got long strands going out to trees or leaves or whatever the fuck it is. As something approaches their nest that they think is intimidating to them or can harm them, those banana spiders start to rock their nests back and forth and get this vibration of their nests going to scare you away from it. And guess what? That fucking works for me. I run. Those
Is that
motherfuckers,
the ones that have the zigzag down the?
they're
the,
brightly colored. They're super, super colored.
yeah, like orange and yellow.
Yep.
And in their web, they have like the zigzag down their web.
I don't know the web
You'll see,
design,
like,
but they're very,
Well, it's a
very
regular
bright.
web, but then somewhere in the middle, it'll have like a zigzag, a little tornado.
You said
if will.
zigzag like 4 times. You like that?
Zigzag?
It's got some good,
Like a zigzag.
some
Okay,
good.
everything
Jesus.
from the last question
I'm
left
itching.
me. I'm not turned on at all anymore.
We killed it. Yeah, we did kind
Spiders killed
of take ourselves down from manly status.
Free lick.
So I guess the feeling of macho isn't working.
What if we lick and keep licking?
The spiders?
Lick the spiders. yeah.
Well, okay, we'll just go to number 6.
Okay, it's number 6.
Zoe from Orlando.
Oh, Zoe.
Zoe wants to know, what do dudes talk about when they are alone?
Well, leave the room.
All right, I'm
Isn't
leaving
that
the room now.
That's the premise
Let's
of our
see what
podcast.
happens.
Come. Okay, she's gone.
Sweet. So how about them Bears?
The Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
I don't.
Depends on
anything. Really,
there's not really. All right. Let's think of something that
It's anything. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this guy was talking about his co-host is a woman, and they were like, women, we get together and we talk about our relationships, and he was like, well, guys, we don't do that. All we do is just sit around and drink beer and talk about sports. That's it. That's us sharing. And I'm like, that's not me. I don't know any other my guy friends that just do that. Well, maybe I know a couple, but like I talk about relationships and whatever, sex, personal problems, issues I'm going through with all my guy friends. So I don't know.
Same as girls talk about. We talk about everything.
Girls get a little, to me, from what I've heard from you and other women, girls get a lot more descriptive and emotional. They attach a lot more emotions to their private conversations, where guys won't necessarily tell their guy friends or even their like parents or their father or whatever. They won't get into the emotional side of it. They save that for their outlet with their girl. They save their emotional release with their girl. At least I don't really.
I tend to disagree. If you're a guy and you don't have at least one guy friend that you can share your most intimate feelings with, then you're really missing out. Because you do need another guy to talk about that kind of stuff with. Because he can say,
I need that guy.
Yeah,
Tach.
I'm going through that too.
Can you be that guy for me? I need that guy. I don't have that guy.
I have a couple of guy friends that I have that with.
Well, now I'm jealous. See?
Well,
See how this works?
like,
see what you started, Andrea?
You need to let your emotions out.
There's
baby.
like Jimmy and Ron. I could talk to them about anything. Personal feelings, emotions I'm going through.
What if the feelings that I have emotional about have to do with Ron? I can't talk to Ron about that. Just kidding, Ron. I won't cut that out, but you know what I mean.
You
Maybe
can talk
he's got
to
a
me,
bunch
Adam.
of penned up stuff in there.
Adam, you can talk to me about feelings. There's no
Can I?
It's a judgment-free zone.
Can I lay down on the couch and you sit behind me and take notes?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the notes and he'll rub your forehead while you talk.
Andrea, take a letter.
Take a letter. Yeah, to answer the question, I mean, anything and everything, I guess. Some guys get more emotional in their conversations with their guys, like Tach saying.
And I think Adam's just not in touch with his emotions.
Hey, I'm not. I am not above reproach on certain situations like that. I can recognize when I can improve. So, just saying, Tach, you need to come over more often. We need to go do stuff together.
Yep.
I probably hang out with you more than anybody else. No one.
Well, that's more business now related than anything else.
True. But I'm
You
just
need
saying.
to take him out, get him drunk, get him to let loose, talk about his
talking about me or him?
emotions and his heart.
When we get this other place, just start coming over. Just start coming over to hang out. Make it your second home.
I just don't have a whole lot of time, but yeah, I don't mind. I like hanging out over here.
Sweet.
All right, you guys want to hear from Martha G. from Titusville, Florida.
Martha G.
Martha G.
Martha G.
From Titusville?
From Titusville.
Tach.
She wants to know, do you actually notice when it's laundry day and we're wearing old/unattractive panties, or do they all look kind of the same to you?
Ooh, this topic might get me in trouble here.
Uh-oh.
You go first, Tach.
Can you repeat the question again? One more, a quicker version.
Do you actually notice? All right. Do you notice when girls are wearing old panties, or is it all
dirty
the same?
panties or like old
No,
panties?
no. Like it's laundry day, so they
That's
put
what
on
I
Damn, girl.
their
immediately
sexy
went to.
I didn't know
panties.
those were striped.
Like they're going on a date, their new date, and they got their new fancy underwear on, and then
Well,
it might just be some
Most of the
regular-
girls I've been in relationships with, like,
Don't wear panties. Got it?
no. Well, there was one girl like that. But most of them, like, all of them are all cute, you know. And I did date this one girl that wore nothing but granny panties, and I was like, even like I've been with some prude girlfriends, like very prude, and they even wore thongs too, you know. So it's like, come on now, like why? But most of the girls I know, they're all like cute and
Tach,
sexy. And
I am so happy you took that first.
what do you mean?
I am so happy you took that first. So I have a preference in my lines of underwear. All right. Preference. First is none. I mean, that's my first preference, just because I think that's sexy. I do.
Well,
and I know it
it's not
sounds
always
sleazy.
sexy, but
I mean, most of
maybe
the time
in
it
a
is.
skirt or a dress or something. But
No, I think
Not like in jeans.
how about in a pair of nice yoga pants?
Well, that's different.
Yes, it is. Jeans, you can't really tell.
But thongs are nice too, and nice yoga pants too. Because like panties on a girl is sexy.
I personally don't like granny panties. I like boy shorts, which cover more than granny panties, more than I like granny panties. Boy shorts that come down the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I like those better than I like. So my preference of order, nothing, thongs or G-strings or whatever.
Right.
Boy shorts, then granny panties at the very last. So that's my order of things. Now, on older versions, like everybody has a cute set of whatever category you fit in there and a old ratty set of whatever you happen to fit in there. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. I'm not paying enough attention to, the age of the underwear or whatever. That doesn't make it or break it for me.
Right.
What makes it or breaks it for me is the attitude of the girl. That's really what does it for me.
And silence befalls the room. So that's the girl. You can pull off anything.
You know what?
You
though?
can rock your undies or not.
I like that idea. So if I want to get a girl to get rid of some granny panties, all that I have to do is just rip them all off and have to buy her new ones. Okay, got it.
Or just get her some new ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got
All
it.
right, this will be our last question. It's from
Okay.
Jennifer. I don't know where Jennifer's from, but Jennifer wants to know, what does it mean when my boyfriend talks to his ex about our relationship?
Huh.
Wait. Say it again.
What does it mean when my boyfriend talks to his ex about our relationship?
How does Jennifer know that?
How does she know? She didn't specify. I don't
She
know.
didn't specify.
Maybe maybe the
So
ex and her
there's-
friends. Maybe she's heard them. Maybe she's good.
There are two ways there. Either
I
they're in an
really
open
feel
enough
like-
relationship where he has told her that he's talked to his ex, or she's been doing some snooping. It's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
In the prior, the open relationship where he has told her about the conversations that he's had, I would take that as he has confidence in their relationship and he hopes that she trusts that the relationship he has with his ex is on the up and up. And she's a friend and not a fling or not a, whatever. Now, on the latter, if she's done snooping and found out that he's talking to her and he hasn't been honest about that, then that's deceitful and devious. And that could be taken as, a betrayal of the trust of the girl he's currently with. So it really depends on the category of where she discovered that he's been talking to his
So what
ex.
does it mean if he's talking to his ex about his relationship with her?
I'm guessing my opinion doesn't matter here.
No. Yeah,
I
go.
would like to
I don't know if
what
this
you
is a
think,
personal
Tach.
conversation that I don't need to be a part of.
No.
I have
So
nothing
to
personal
clear
with
that
this.
air, just to clear that air before you answer, my ex, Tach, my ex.
Yes.
In fact, another podcast that we used to host, she used to be a co-host with us.
Right. I'm feeling very awkward right now.
No.
Who did that painting on the wall? No, I'm just kidding. I consider her one of my best friends, and she doesn't know all the details of our relationship at all.
Thank God.
She knows a lot, but not like details that aren't
Right.
appropriate to tell.
Right.
She doesn't need to know those things. Like she doesn't need to know Andrea gives a better blowjob. She doesn't need to know that. She doesn't need to know Andrea's pussy's way better. She doesn't need to know those things. Okay, she doesn't.
Okay.
She does know that. She does know how I care. She does know that I love Andrea. She does know that I plan on having a future with her. So those are pretty intimate things for me to share with my ex, but it's because I trust her. And I think that Andrea trusts me in talking to her about those levels of things. I think it would be disrespectful to go further than that, but I think that. But anyway, all right, sorry. You answer now. You give your answer, all right?
Whatever. It's cool. All right. Moving on.
That's our last
That was the
question.
last question.
No.
No, just for her. What does it mean when your boyfriend's talking to his ex about their relationship?
Yeah, I guess it does boil down to how does she even know? And just everything that he said was pretty much right. But it all depends on what level that he's talking to his ex about. If that makes any sense. It's a case-by-case basis. It really is. Because,
Everything could be a case by case.
But this one is very specifically, because I can't speak for that couple.
We're going to have to reach back out to Jennifer and have her clarify her situation and let us give her a take on it.
Right. Like, there's a lot of missing information here. That,
So like Dr. Phil?
yeah, there's not enough information to base any kind of an opinion on. Because, I mean, it could be anything from, who knows what he's telling his ex? I have no idea.
I don't either.
It could be like, he could be complaining to his ex about his current.
All right, Jennifer, send us another one. Ask us, tell us a little more about your situation.
We need more detail, Jennifer.
And I will have the guys Dr. Phil it for you.
We will Dr. Phil it.
Dr. Feel It.
We're going to add one more thing to the Guyry tonight.
Okay.
And we're going to make this one a quick round since this is the first week we're going to do this. Tach, if you remember 2 weeks ago or a week ago, we had a listener by the name of Aaron, a male, Aaron, send us a piece of email. Maybe it's one of the never mind. Asking if we could also do a reverse segment where guys ask girls questions that they maybe normally wouldn't ask their girls in a relationship. So it's the Guyry, but now that we have a female host on the show with us.
So it's not the Guyry. It's the Earag.
It's the diary.
I was trying to say Guyry backwards.
Yeah, I don't.
Reverse Guyry.
Guyry.
Earag.
Yeah, no.
It's Ask Andrea. Ask a ginger.
Ask a ginger.
No, because we're not now.
I like that.
We're not encouraging people to use the word ginger.
We're not.
No, it's different
Because all
for
my
you than
friends
it is
call
for
me
me.
Ginger, and they're really sad that I'm not using
That's
the name
because
Ginger
it's
on the show.
cute, and you're a cute girl. It's a redhead.
You're
and
a cute,
it's precious.
You're a cute boy. What?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's not the same for a guy.
So, in honor of Aaron, and we're going to start including this and the option for listeners to email in questions to ask. I almost said
Andrea.
ask Ginger. To ask Andrea on the show. Guys, ask any questions you want to ask a female to answer, and she'll answer them honestly. Now, the questions can't be how big are your tits every week.
No,
They can be 1 or 2 weeks, but not every week.
It depends on what week it is. What bra I'm wearing.
So, let's start it off, Tach.
How big are your tits?
Do you have any questions that you want to ask?
34D.
Okay.
Do you have any questions that you want to ask Andrea, our host, from a guy's perspective to a girl that you wouldn't normally ask your girl in a relationship?
Right. You have to come back to me, I gotta think.
And think of the topics that these girls. This is our time to get a little bit of revenge for putting us on the spot all these weeks.
What? It's not
So-
my fault.
No, I know, but you're the female. You're the
What?
you're the
I'm
representative.
taking it for the females. I'll take it for you ladies.
Whoa,
Yeah.
she'll take it.
I'll take it all.
All right,
Give it to me.
let's set the pace. Let's set the pace.
We're gonna lick again and lick some more.
Let's set the pace right up front with a very straightforward question. And I want the honest answer, not what you would tell your man in a relationship with. Does size matter?
Oh, I was just going to say that.
It depends. It all depends. No, I definitely believe that girth matters more than length. But there are some guys that it's like, oh, I can't feel anything, and that doesn't feel like anything. There are some guys who it's way too big, and that is too much. So I think more of it's what you do with what you have.
That's such a cop-out answer, though, isn't it?
But it's the truth. It's the absolute
What I
truth.
hear, but
All right, so have you ever told a guy you're too small?
Well, of course not. I just
Okay.
leave him.
you wait, what? Or you just leave him? Is that what you said?
Damn, now if she leaves me, I'm going to, God damn it, little guy. Okay. All right, Tach, you got anything? Ask your question.
I was going to share a story, but I'm not going to.
Uh-oh, don't give us another...
No, if you feel like you're inadequate in size or anything, there are so many other things that you can do to please a woman.
Do you want me to go over those details about how to go down on a girl again?
Yes, I need to know about that one again. Exactly. Explicit details, please.
I'll give you a PowerPoint presentation with visual examples later. Oh, I got another one.
Okay.
Since you're still thinking. So and these are right off the top of our head, guys. These are not
Well, right on
scripted
top
at all.
of your head, I can't think of anything.
So when women go through their cycle every month, the ugly beast that is PMS tends to show its face in some women way harder than others. Some women can go through it and never have any kind of emotional turmoil or tumultuous times, where others, you literally don't want to be around for a week or 5 days or whatever the hell it is during that PMS hormone phasing. Do the majority of women actually have these symptoms? Are they legitimate? And I know the chemical imbalance and change is legitimate, but is the heightened moods,
Are you overreacting?
yeah, is it real, or are you guys using that as an excuse for maybe being a little bit more upset or hasty or whatever? I butchered that question, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
I think it really matters what's going on during that time. If something more serious is going on, your mood and everything is heightened. So if something more emotional is going on at the same time, you will be overly dramatic about it. Things are more intense to you. So the small things are a little bit bigger.
Oh, small things. My dick's bigger. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
That's sweet. Sorry. I apologize.
No, it's fine. So I think, just something as silly as watching a sad movie during that time with your emotions, you're going to cry a little harder. So if something a little more intense happens around that time, it might seem more like a beast is coming out. But I think it just happened. It's more about what's going on in your life at the time and how you deal with it.
Okay.
Well, I was with this a girlfriend I had. She straight up told me, she was like, because my daughters like to over embellish about their monthly whatever.
They're
cycle.
menses.
And so they like to, or they call it Shark Week. But, it's like, they're like, well, I'm on a period, and I'm allowed to be a bitch. And, and I'm like, no, you're absolutely not. You're not allowed to use that as an excuse. And I dated this girl who was my girlfriend. She lived with me. And so she helped me with the girls and the kids, and she agreed with me. She was like, no, your dad's right. Like, this is not,
It's not your week to just be whatever you want.
Yeah. It's not like, she's like, a woman should never use this as an excuse to be mean.
No.
She's like, there's no way. And she was right, because she never once ever complained about being on her period or anything like that. Never. She never used PMS as an excuse to be mean. And she straight up said, there's no excuse for any woman anywhere to ever act like that and blame it on PMS.
Huh, good.
No, yeah, that's what I was just saying. If something extreme happens around that time, you might be extra emotional, but
right.
In general, just,
Right. And I know immediately right there, I was like, I want to marry this girl. and honestly, I should have. To be honest
I don't
with
know,
you.
Adam. How have I seemed? Do I seem pretty much around the same? Maybe a little extra emotional? Has there been a beast?
I can tell a difference. Yeah, I've seen a difference with you. We've only been together 3 months, so I can't say.
I'm not talking about me getting hornier.
No, I know that.
Okay.
No, we haven't been together long enough for me to really get a good litmus to see what the differences are. But I think that yes, you have more you have more triggers at that time of the month.
Do I turn evil?
I wouldn't say evil. I would say emotional. I haven't seen evil out of you yet. I'd say emotional. Yes.
It's because there's not an evil bone in my body.
Only when I'm fucking you.
I'm a sweetheart.
Evil bone.
I got it.
And on that note,
I see what you did there.
let's wrap this week up. What do you say, Tach?
Yeah, man.
All right, so I want to give a couple shout outs real quick this week to John Sweeney with 102.7 WSNR out of Treasure Island, Florida. Tach, we are now syndicated officially.
Right.
So that's kind of fun.
Awesome.
And that's actually through an app too. You listen to it. It's called the Crikey is the name of the app. I think it's KRYKEY.
Yep. Or you can go stream directly from the site as well. So that's 1027WSNR.com. Mm-hmm. So you can go right there and just click play right on that main site. But the station is commercial free all the time, with the exception of the commercials that we've got in our podcast. Those will still play. And is the Ultimate in Rock 102.7 WSNR.
I've been listening to it too. I've been checking it
good?
out. Yeah,
I've heard a few things on there.
I was listening to some Guns N' Roses the other day. I was like, right,
#1 rock internet radio station in the world.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on a rock channel, man. That's
cool.
That's my bag.
So that's our first shout out. We want to give another shout out to Smoke Rings Merritt Island in the Merritt Square Mall. They are in partnership negotiations with us right now to come on board as a full-time sponsor.
Right.
So we're going to give them a couple of plugs and some saturation out there to you guys. Listen, guys, if you want to do us a huge favor, show those sponsors how much it means to us. Hit them up on Facebook or go in the store if you're interested in anything that Smoke Ring sells. Say you heard it on Living Podcariously, you'll get a 10% discount. So if you're going to buy something anyway, go buy it from them, get your 10% discount, mention the show. That'll get them to buy more ads from us and help pay for some of the bills in the studio. So go check those guys out.
And if you're listening to us on 102.7 WSNR, we want to hear about it. Like, let us know if that's how you're listening to us.
Yeah, definitely. show@livingpodcariously.com is our email address. So shoot us an email and let us know. Also, last shout out goes out to Gil Lugo, DJ Gil Lugo. He hooked us up with the music that you heard in this episode. We'll have some show notes to his links and some of his press kit stuff. So if you guys are interested in his music, you can go check out that stuff. I don't think he sells it per se on like iTunes or anything, but you can go check him out on SoundCloud. And the more listens he gets on SoundCloud, the better for him. So again, that's DJ Gil, Gil Lugo, Lugo. I don't think I have anything else. Do you guys have anything else you want to play?
I'm all set, Andrea.
I'm good.
All right. Well, on behalf of Tach, Andrea, and myself, Adam, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Living Podcariously, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.
She's
Windows Cry.
Diamonds and pearls.
Purple Rain.
Pussy control.
What?
Or is it pee control?
What? Pussy control. Yeah. That's not on this list, but I want to hear that song.
Say Cream.
Wanna be your lover?
Let's Go Crazy.
Let's Go Crazy, number 3.
Um,
The most beautiful girl in the world.
Yes, definitely number 9.
Something with Nikki or something like that.
You got the look.
I don't see You Got the Look in there.
I think you're thinking of Roxette, maybe.
No.
Is that You Got the Look? Is that?
Oh no, I'm thinking of She's Got the Look.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Is it Nikki or something?
How about I go down the list?
Okay.
I don't remember who got what. You guys kind of rocket fired them out at me. So, all right, number 20 is 1999.
Oh, duh.
By far one of the best songs of Princess.
Purple Rain.
He said that. Number 19 is I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man.
Hold on a second. What is this? This is
Top 20 Billboard hits.
In order?
Yes, in order.
So the first one you mentioned is what, the most?
No, 1999. Number 1 is the most.
So
by far the most. The highest maybe on. I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't write down exactly what the list had. But yeah, these are in
that's
sequential
good enough.
order.
Just top 20, like number 1 hits.
Yeah, number 1 Billboard hits from Princess. So 20 is 1999. Number 19 is I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. Number 18 is Alphabet Street. I don't know that song.
It sounds like, was that the song you did on Sesame Street? I don't know.
Number 17 is 7. Number 16 is I Would Die For You.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Number 15 is Delirious. Number 14 is Pop Life. Number 13 is Thieves in the Temple. Number 12 is Diamonds and Pearls.
I got that one.
Number 11, you also got this one too, Little Red Corvette. Number 10 is Sign of the Times, or Sign of the Times. Sign O.
Like Steve-O?
Yes. Number 9 is The Most Beautiful Girl in the World.
Got that one.
Number 8 is Purple Rain. Not number 1. I figured that would be up there next to number 1. Number 7 is You Got the Look.
I had that one. I said that one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Raspberry Beret.
Got that one.
Number 5 is Bat Dance.
That's from the Batman soundtrack.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, look at that. It even says from Batman. Oh.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Cream.
Yep.
Number 3 is Let's Go Crazy.
Yep.
Number 2 is Kiss.
Kiss.
And number 1,
Kiss.
Top Billboard Playing Ground. In this situation, each team brings their own balls to use. So it's not the same ball that goes back and forth and back and forth. So,
right.
What was that?
That's just my pussy. Serafina.
Oh my God. But in football, each team has their own. So the Patriots would have brought their 26 balls or however many it was. Then the other opposing team would have brought theirs. So make a long story short, the advantage would have been to the team that deflated their balls, which they got busted, and that's the Patriots. Well, Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games, and then he appealed it through a circuit court, and it got appealed. So he was said he did no longer have to, be suspended for those 4 games. Well, that got overturned today or yesterday in a Supreme Court judge's hearing. He overturned the appeal, refining Tom Brady, and Ron would love this topic. He would love to call in on it, I'm sure. Refining him those 4 games and suspending him those 4 with no pay. So now Tom Brady, at this point, he has another way out if he wants to. He can
you appeal that now, too?
He can't technically appeal an appeal that has been overturned.
Right.
What he can do is ask for what is it where you get a grant of an extension for some sort of legalese. So technically he can push it out another year if he wanted to, so he didn't have to take his penalty till next year instead of this upcoming year.
So is it by the next 4 games, or is it any 4 games that somebody chooses?
The very first 4 games of the season.
I would just do that, man. Get it over with.
Agreed.
You don't want to be the last 4 games of the season.
And the Miami Dolphins play the Patriots game number 3 or 2 or 3, one of the two. So that's going to be a W in the column for the Dolphins as long as they do well. So we will see.
Schedule's already set. Just get it over with. You can still win and go Super Bowl by losing 4 games.
But when you're a Tom Brady caliber player in a sport like that, that is millions of dollars that you're going to be out. Granted, he did a $40 million 2-year contract, but you're going to be out that much money early.
He will be okay. He will survive.
Okay.
I think he'll find a way.
I totally agree.
Perfect.
Seriously, assist her. Just bring her by.
Tach is interested in your sister, Andrea.
Maybe when we have a bigger house, she'll come in.
No, why won't she come now?
There is not enough time to answer that question.
Okay. All right. Well, then, all right. Off of football topic. Look, I know that's not exactly our forte, but
Right.
that I felt that was relevant enough to bring up. I know Ron would have wanted us to bring it up, so I'm bringing it up for him. All right, Tach, can you think?
Okay, first of all, Ron has not passed away, right?
You're listening to Living Podcariously, bringing you real men's perspectives, unfiltered, unapologetic, and uncensored. Recorded live in the Living Podcariously studio in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida.
And welcome to Living Podcariously. This is episode number 12. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Adam. Across from me is...
I am Tach.
And back with a vengeance. No, back with popular demand. No, back because she's the best looking thing in the studio.
Indeed.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
Hey, Andrea, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Of course, I ask you that. I live with you. Really, Tach should be probably asking you that, but...
How come you didn't ask how I was doing?
Did I not ask how you were doing?
I don't remember.
All right, on to our first topic. No, I'm just kidding. What have you been up to, Tach? What have you been doing?
Nothing.
I see you once a week coming over here, eating some pizza, drinking some beer, smoking some vape.
Just working.
Yeah?
That's it. Yeah.
Huh, well, very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's cool. Made for good content.
So you asked me to ask you what's going on,
Yeah.
and then it was nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Meh. I'm sure there's something, but I can't think of it. But
Yeah. Well, we're going to be upgrading studios here real soon, Tach.
indeed.
We're moving on up
moving on up.
to the east side. Actually,
Moving on
to the
up.
north side of Barge, if that makes any sense to you.
It doesn't.
But yeah, we're upgrading studios. We'll have some new studio space. Hopefully, it doesn't echo as bad as it looks like it's going to because there's a bunch of tile in there. But hey, pool table,
There's
pool.
tile in here.
Yeah, I guess that's good. But I got a ton of sound dampeners in there,
Right.
so anyway. All right, let's get right into it. So there were several things that happened this week that I felt pertinent to at least categorize and talk about on the show. I think this first topic probably doesn't have anything to do with the two of you. However, it's very pertinent to the NFL community.
Can't wait.
So, Tach, do
Yay.
you know what the NFL is?
Yes, I'm not that stupid.
Are you sure?
Told you I used to follow football a
All right.
long time ago.
So was there
National Female Leg?
lesbians?
Lesbians, yes.
Liquors. Oh.
National Female Liquors. Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, let's trivialize it. Was there anything in the last year that happened that caught attention?
Oh, are you?
That's a
Ron
good point.
would have wanted it that way.
In loving memory of our prior, not prior friend, but our prior podcast host and good
Right.
friend Ron.
Right.
Ron's making some moves, man. He's hosting a couple of other sports talk podcasts as
Yeah,
well.
he's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing real well. So, hey, congrats out there, Ron.
Indeed.
All right.
I'm just going to play with my camel.
All right.
So, has anything else happened in the last week that you guys think would be relevant to talk about on a show like ours?
Can't possibly think of anything. Except 2016 is stealing all of our singers and actors.
Yeah, exactly. I like the angle that you were going there. I only brought up in my topics here one particular, and that is the king of the man camel himself, Prince. Have you seen that picture?
The purple one? No.
He's in the yellow jumpsuit, and his camel is just strong as ever in that jumpsuit.
No, it's camel.
It's quite funny.
It's like Eddie Murphy's little jumpsuit.
His camel is bigger than mine.
Damn, I keep picking this up and wanting to vape.
Oh, Trey, by the way, just texted and said, also, hi, female voice. He didn't know who it was. Cute. All right, so yeah, Prince recently passed away. The details of his death are still kind of up in the air. They don't know how he died. Well, let's just put it this way. The reports of his autopsy haven't been publicized yet.
Right.
So they don't know exactly, the public doesn't know exactly how he died. I'm sure the family does. He's already been cremated, so that's already happened.
Right.
Allegedly through press. But yeah, they have not reported the reasons for his death, which is interesting.
Well, he did have the flu for 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah, he did.
They were saying that too, and I read that somewhere too that he's been sick, but I was like, people don't die from the flu. This isn't like 1600s anymore. Like, did he have something else? Like,
that's all that they
did
say.
he have like cancer or AIDS or something that...
They'll probably just put a symbol for the reason he died.
Oh, too soon?
And the reasons are...
Nothing being meant by it at all.
Yeah.
It'd be a beautiful symbol.
It'd be pretty simple.
So I wrote down some stuff here, Tach, and I wanted to see if you guys could guess. I wrote down the top 20 Prince Billboard singles.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how many you guys can
You
guess.
giving clues, or we're just going to start naming them?
I mean, I would hope I don't have to give clues on it. I can. Let's see how many.
I mean, do you want us to just start
Raspberry
naming
Beret.
songs? Hold on.
Little Red Corvette.
Hold on.
There's two of the top 20
Okay.
Tach.
You talking about the Deflated Gate?
Yes, the Deflate
scandal?
Gate.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. Tach, if you had to choose, what team would you preference towards?
I used to follow, my whole family was Chicago fans.
The Bears.
So, the Bears.
All right. Andrea, if you had to choose a team, who would you choose?
Whichever one you choose, honey.
Nice.
Whichever food you like.
Nice.
That's what I've
about.
always been taught.
Wow. Seriously. Sister, bring her in. Just bring her by one time.
I haven't even met her sister yet.
Just ask my camel.
You do have a camel
She's got a camel toe in studio.
I've got 4.
right between your legs, too. That is awesome.
That's a segue for the last. Was it last episode of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. That we talked about Andrea's camel toe. So yeah, maybe we'll take a picture of Andrea's camel toe and stick it up on Facebook.com/.
Oh, I think everyone should see my camel toe.
Living Pod Curiously.
It's very cute. It even has a little hat.
So anyway, back to the NFL. Deflategate,
Yeah.
Tom Brady. So that's really the topic of the conversation is Tom Brady.
Okay.
So to summarize it really quickly, the Patriots got caught cheating with deflating footballs so their quarterback could get a better grip on the ball and make better throws. That's the bottom line. All right. So each team has their own number of balls. They are tested before game. Sometime between the time they were tested and the time they were used, the Patriots deflated them. Now, the scandal came down to who did it. Well, the people that were involved all got either fined or suspended certain amounts of games. That included Tom Brady. Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games in the upcoming season, in the 2016 season.
Okay.
I'm glad they
Sorry, I'm
test
watching
all of their balls.
Thoroughly. They
That's
test them for
very
pressure.
good thing.
When all this was going down, I saw Charles Barkley doing an interview or whatever. Charles Barkley was talking about all this. And he said back in his day, when he was playing in NBA, that it was pretty normal because he always had like one of them little needle things, had one on him all the time. So if he ever got the ball or just before he went out, he would deflate it a little bit, whatever. Just, it got to where his liking was, and then he put it back in like in his wristband or sock or wherever he kept it, and just kept going. And then the guy was like, "Well, did you feel like you were doing anything wrong?" He's like, "No." He's like, "We did it all the time. Like I wasn't the only one."
Do you know what the difference is there between the two comparisons of sports?
No.
So in basketball, the ball that is used on the court at all times is the same ball for each team. So the advantage is for both sides. So if the ball being deflated is an advantage for Charles Barkley, it would have also then been an advantage for whoever his opponent was.
Or disadvantage.
Or disadvantage, right. So it's equal.